Turning on the mic. There we go. Perfect. Let's pull YouTube and Twitch and see how they're behaving.
Haven't gotten the message yet. There we are. All good.
Still waiting for everything to load. There's YouTube down. Good. There's YouTube down. Now Twitch. Yes, I hear you, other Mickey. Perfect. Muted.
Mickey.
Well done. DM Fit says, welcome, gents. Invader Steven says, Flarn, filth, and Flarn. Yeah, well, thankfully we haven't, gotten into the NC-17 section of the show, TJ.
Not yet.
Not yet. Round two's coming. Mm-hmm. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Thank you very much for joining us tonight for Gentleman Octopus Trivia. I'm pulling up the game right now. This is April 11th, and we are back. We'll hopefully also be back next week, the 18th.
Yes.
Ready to go.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row.
Cross your fingers.
Let's see here.
With our schedule, that's a monumental accomplishment.
Yes,
It's been a year.
It's probably going to be a little up and down in the foreseeable future. Next week we'll be playing a game as far as we have planned right now, unless something comes up. Next 2 weeks, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting. Anyway, I'm getting the link for the
Facebook already has it.
Twitch. Here you go. YouTube coming down the pipe. There you are. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining. We're going to let everybody trickle in and go over the thank you page for our supporters while y'all do. I'd like to say thank you to Gwen Abrams, Adam Francois Watkins, and Rachel Schumann, to Michelle Martin, Claire Fisher, and Will Gilbert, to Gail Angeles, Stephen Glassman, and Mark Dawson. Thank you also Jerome Vered, Adam Connor, and Carrie Bonell. Thank you to Kent Buxton, Marnie Helfrich, and Lindsay Henry. Thank you to Jordan Lax, Dan Fitzpatrick, and a super special thank you to Sarah Ann Rapp, super special, partner of the Octopus and partner of mine. She has contributed a question that you will see in round 2. Ooh. Coincidentally enough,
yeah, round 2 is where it's all happens.
We talked about where it gets a little flarn, and filth. You know,
you gotta get your floor and filth in there.
All right,
so that's 10 viewers already. All right,
fantastic. T, do you want to go over the rules a little bit?
Yeah, let's go over the rules. Please submit your answers using the Google Forms docs that are provided on the event page. Hey, I just posted those.
Good for you.
Make sure that you include your team name on each form that you do. Please space and stylize your team name the same on every form, or our system will think it is a brand new team. There'll be 4 rounds of questions here tonight. Your third round is going to be a music round with a theme. We will get onto that a little bit later. That's a surprise tool. Feel free to play individually or to team up through a group chat or Facebook Messenger, however you want. There's no limit on team size. We generally think 6 is probably about the cap.
Yeah, I think there's
too many cooks at that point.
Diminishing returns when you hit 7 and up.
Really going to spoil the broth on that one.
Personally, there's diminishing returns. I think it's 6. I think 5 is like...
that's a hot take. We'll leave your hot takes to the side. So each correct answer to a question will be worth 1 unless otherwise specified. The only exception to that is the music round, in which you have a 1 for the artist and 1 for the song title, and a special 2-point bonus will be given to the music round theme. So it would behoove you to guess that theme. And questions will be read once and then recapped, and so you're going to hear/see them a total of 3 times before they are fully revealed to the general public.
Previous Gentleman Octopus answer: too many cooks. That is indeed correct. Aired on Adult Swim at like 2 in the morning, right?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
and that took over the world for like 2 months.
Can you imagine seeing that for the first time, like at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that? It wasn't like at a regularly scheduled time.
No,
it wasn't a round time. It wasn't like a 3 o'clock or a 3:30.
It was like 2:37, I believe, because it was right after like the Eric Andre show. It was like
that's where you'd put it.
Yeah,
I agree. But then it goes on for what, 16 minutes?
It's a 7-minute bit.
7 minutes.
Yeah, it's a 7-minute bit.
Yeah, at first you think this is just some dumb weird thing, and then
it gets,
this is pretty funny. Wait, this is really weird.
This
oh
really
my god,
this
what's
is getting
going
into
on?
Dog Me, I'm Scared territory now.
And then, what's the name of that song that plays at the end of The Shining? Like, it's not Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. It's something along that. Oh my goodness. The stars. What was that called? The stars were shining. Moonlight, the Stars, and You. I think it's what it's called. I believe plays over at the end of Too Many Cooks because, of course, it does.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a fun journey for everybody. Let's get started with
Let's do it.
Number
You want
one.
to start with evens or odds?
I will take evens in this round, and I believe, or I'm sorry, odds in this round.
Yep.
I think evens in the next round.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Best of luck, everybody. Let's get going. Question number 1. The words heart, spell, and death are the second half of compound word titles in a trilogy of young adult works by Cornelia Funke. What short word is the first half in each of those titles? So Cornelia Funke wrote a young adult trilogy. Each one of those books was a single one-word title, and that one word was a compound word that ended either with heart, spell, or death. What short word was the first half of those one-word compound titles? That's what we're looking for. Give us that one short word. That's question number 1.
And question number 2, alluding to its official nickname, the flag, seen on the following slide, represents what American state? What American state is represented by the flag here, alluding to its state nickname?
Official, by the way.
Official.
At least I'm almost 100% sure it's official. What I mean is it's not like, America's Wang. They prefer the Sunshine State.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. So what state is that the flag of? That's question 2.
Question number 3. After Matt Duchene scored a controversially allowed goal in 2013, the NHL instituted a rule that allows for coaches to challenge what type of call? That has so far resulted in 33 disallowed goals during the first half of the 2021-2022 season. After Matt Duchene was allowed a controversial goal in 2013, the NHL has since instituted a rule that allows for coaches to challenge what type of call? That's question number 3.
Sorry, Matt. You had to be the poster boy for this. Question 4. The songs Izzo, Hova by Jay-Z, and Ballin' by Logic both name drop what Big Ten school's mascot, with each song making a near rhyme with the mascot and the university's home state. Once again, the songs Izzo, Hova by Jay-Z, and Ballin' by Logic both name drop what Big Ten school's mascot, with each song making a near rhyme with its mascot and the university's home state. What school is that? That is question 4.
All right. And question number 5. The 3 central characters in the 1953 film How to Marry a Millionaire were played by Marilyn Monroe, Lauren Bacall, and what actress and pinup girl? One of only a handful of women to rank among the top 10 box office stars for 10 consecutive years, doing that from 1942 to 1951. So How to Marry a Millionaire starred 3 women in the major roles. Those were Marilyn Monroe, Lauren Bacall, and what actress and pinup girl was the most bankable star, or one of the most bankable stars in the top 10 from 1942 through 1951. Who is that woman? That's question number 5.
Yep. Question number 6. The following image shows a species of snapping turtle, first sighted in northern Queensland by a pair of father and son conservationists, with what surname that now identifies the species? If you're new around here, round 1, question 6 is going to be the name that animal. Mm-hmm. And in round 2, question 8 in everything is a Andy Ram with a Randy Bent.
An Andygram?
Andy Graham.
Andy Graham?
Andy Graham. Indeed.
An Andy Graham or Andy Graham?
Andy Graham or No, I'm good.
Yeah, honey, I'm good.
Honey, I'm good, yeah. Question 6. The following image shows a species of snapping turtle first sighted in northern Queensland by a pair of father and son conservationists with what surname that now identifies the species? What surname identifies this snappy boy here?
It's a snappy boy.
It is a snappy boy.
Check out that side smile there on the image on the right.
Love it. So what father and son conservationist team, what surname names this species a snapping turtle?
Mm-hmm. Snappy boy.
Snappy boy.
Sarah was just texting me, Snappy boy. Yeah, that's fun.
Yep,
That's a
boy.
good one.
That is question number 6.
And question number 7. Nicholas Lowe's 1707 publication, A Poem Upon the Late Glorious Successes, commemorates the victories of the Duke of Marlborough at the Battle of Ramillies, which was fought during what conflict, in which the Duke also secured victories at Malplaquet and Blenheim. So the battles of Ramillies, Malplaquet, and Blenheim were among the major engagements of what larger conflict that was commemorated in the 1707 poem by Nicholas Lowe, quote, Upon the Late Glorious Successes. Looking for the name of that larger conflict, that's question number 7.
And your last of the round, question number 8. Likely Sephardic in origin. What dish of shredded meat cooked in a sofrito with tomatoes and frequently accompanied by rice, plantains, and black beans takes its 2-word name from the Spanish for old clothes? So once again, likely Sephardic in origin. What dish of shredded meat cooked in a sofrito with tomatoes and frequently accompanied by rice, plantains, and black beans takes its 2-word name from the Spanish for old clothes? What is that dish? That is question number 8. You know what time it is?
Hit him with the recap.
Hit him with the recap.
Here we go. Once again, question number 1. Author Cornelia Funk wrote a trilogy of young adult works. Each one of those works has a 1-word title that is a compound word. The second half of that compound word in each case is heart, spell, and death. What is the first half of those compound 1-word titles? What short word is the first half of each of those compound 1-word titles? That's question number 1.
Question number 2, short and sweet, alluding to its official nickname. The flag seen on the following slide represents what American state? What American state is represented by the flag seen on this slide? Got that one and this one.
This or that.
Yep. What is that American state that is represented by that flag? That's question 2.
Question number 3. After Matt Duchene was controversially allowed a goal in 2013, the NHL instituted a rule that said that coaches are allowed to challenge what type of call. This rule has resulted in 33 disallowed goals during the first half of the 2021-2022 season. And this is not the first year.
No, it's not.
That this rule has been
far
instituted.
and away not the first year.
Okay, that's important. Just wanted to add that context.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what kind of call can coaches challenge in the NHL? That's question number 3.
Question number 4. These songs Izzo, Hova by Jay-Z, and Ballin' by Logic both name drop what Big Ten school's mascot, with each song making a near rhyme with the mascot and the university's home state. So once again, the songs Izzo by Jay-Z and Ballin' by Logic, they both name drop what Big Ten school's mascot, with each making a near rhyme that has the mascot and the university's home state.
I love the thought of people not knowing anything about either song, going, okay, well, I know the Big Ten schools. Let's just run through this one and that one. No, that's not a rhyme. This one, I guess, kinda. You know? Question number 5. The 3 central characters in the 1953 film How to Marry a Millionaire are played by Marilyn Monroe, Lauren Bacall, and what third woman? This woman and pinup girl was the most bankable actress, or was the top 10 most bankable box office star for 10 consecutive years, doing so from 1942 to 1951. Who is she? That's question number 5.
Question number 6. The following image shows a species of snapping turtle that was first sighted in northern Queensland by a pair of father and son conservationists with what surname that now identifies this snappy boy?
Mm-hmm.
This snappy boy here is identified by what surname that is given because of the father and son conservationist team that discovered him? That is question 6.
That is question number 6. Moving on to question number 7, in which we ask you this. Nicholas Lowe's 1707 publication, A Poem Upon the Late Glorious Successes, commemorates the Duke of Marlborough and their victory at the Battle of Ramillies, which was fought during what conflict in which the Duke also secured victories at Malplaquet and Blenheim. So the battles of Ramillies, Malplaquet, and Blenheim were major engagements during what larger conflict? That is question number 7.
And your last question of the round, likely Sephardic in origin. What dish is shredded meat cooked in a sofrito with tomatoes and frequently accompanied by rice, plantains, and black beans takes its 2-word name from the Spanish for old clothes? So what dish takes its 2-word name from the Spanish for old clothes and is shredded meat cooked in a sofrito with tomatoes and frequently accompanied by rice, plantains, and black beans? That's question 8. Get your answers in, and we will see you in just a little bit. Going to hit you up for the first time tonight. If you like we do and you want to support what we do, feel free to support us at Venmo at McKinney-Sizemore, Cash App at $McKinney Sizemore, and PayPal at ksizemore@hotmail.com.
Yep, you
what
can
you
use,
feeling?
You can use all of those different handles to hook us up. Thank you very, very much for your generosity in advance. I have pulled up our stations here. Looks like we got some new ones. The one that's calling to me now is Calming Cinematics.
All right.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm not sure what that's about, but
Not
that's
going
what
to
we're
be the
gonna play.
Inception theme for sure.
No.
Boom.
All right, we'll see y'all in just a little bit.
See you in a bit. All right, it is time to get those round one answers on the board. But first, before we do so, I'd like to thank Barney Helfrich for getting it started here and donating to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marnie. And if you want to chip in, remember ksizemore@hotmail.com. If you're using PayPal, if you're using Venmo, it's at McKinney-Sizemore, or Cash App, it's $ McKinney Lee Sizemore. And every little bit helps. We really, really appreciate what you do, and we know
Hopefully
that you appreciate
what we do.
Exactly, exactly.
It's all an appreciation. Just everybody hands shaking.
There we go. Question number 1: the words heart, spell, and death are the second half of compound word titles in a trilogy of young adult works by Cornelia Funk. What short word is the first half in the case of each of those titles? We got an answer of God. Godspell, definitely a thing, but not by Cornelia Funk. This is ink. Inkheart. Ink spell, and concluding appropriately with ink death.
Ink death. Question number 2, alluding to its official nickname, the flag seen on the following slide represents what American state?
What's the clue here, TJ?
Probably the date.
Yes.
On the bottom there.
December 7th, 1787, when this state claims it was the first to have signed the Constitution, making it the first state.
Which is Delaware.
Delaware,
indeed.
Question number 3. After Matt Duchene scored a controversially allowed goal in 2013, the NHL instituted a rule that allows for coaches to challenge what type of call. That has so far resulted in 33 disallowed goals during the first half of this season. While having an offender in the crease is something that can be challenged, you can challenge goalie interference. It wasn't inspired by this Matt Duchene call.
Nope.
And there's no way there have been 33 disallowed goals for goalie interference.
It's got a lot more spotty of a record because nobody really knows what goaltender interference
This one is 79% successful through the first half of the 2021-2022 season. This is offside.
Matt, just a bit offside there. Yeah. There's a couple of interesting stories around this goal. So this goal was scored against the Nashville Predators, a team that Matt Duchene now plays for.
Mm-hmm.
The first team to have a goal chalked off for offside in a Stanley Cup final was the Nashville Predators.
Oh, they gotta feel like they got it both ways there.
When Philip Forsberg was ruled offside in the series against the Penguins.
Interesting. Was Philip Forsberg ever on the Avalanche for an extra connection?
Oh, no.
Just Peter.
No, just Peter.
Yeah, just Peter.
Now Philip was a Capital.
Yes,
and then a Predator. They haven't fumbled the bag like we did.
All right.
Question number 4: the songs "Izzo," "Hova" by Jay-Z and "Ballin'" by Logic both name drop what Big Ten school's mascot, with each song making a near rhyme with the mascot and the university's home state. They'd be ballin' at Maryland, home of the Terrapins.
That is indeed correct. Secret Turtle theme, by the way.
Secret Turtle theme. Yeah. Secret Turtle.
And a school that's new to the Big Ten, athletically speaking.
Relatively, yeah.
Relatively.
I think 13 is actually when it came in as a Big Ten school.
Mm-hmm. Are they the newest in the Big Ten? Maybe.
Might be Rutgers.
Okay.
It might be Rutgers that is the newest.
All right. Question number 5. The 3 central characters in the 1953 film How to
Slightly disturbing pecs. That's Testudo, baby.
Okay. The 3 central characters in the 1953 film How to Marry a Millionaire were played by Marilyn Monroe, Lauren Bacall, and what actress and pinup girl? One of only a handful of women to rank among the top 10 box office stars for 10 consecutive years, doing so from 1942 through 1951. There is Betty Grable, also the name of one of the kitty cats at the Hemingway House and Museum. It's funny, when I had just finished writing that question, I hopped up, I think, to powder my nose or something, came back in.
As you do.
As you do. Came back in, and I saw that bookmark, the Betty Grable bookmark, on my corkboard. I'm like, I'm going to include that.
That's awesome. Question 6, and your image question. The following image shows a species of snapping turtle that first sighted in northern Queensland by a pair of father and son conservationists with what surname that now identifies the species? I think people are going to be kicking themselves here.
A lot of overthinking, I think.
So once again, here's a snappy boy.
A lot of overthinking, I think.
Yep. You overthought
I overstated thinking.
Yep. And this is the Irwins.
Yes.
Is the Irwin snapping turtle.
It was discovered, I believe, in 1990 by Steve Irwin and his father, Bob Irwin. and it was named specifically for Steve. It's not the only species to be named after Steve Irwin. There is a land tree snail that's taxonomical name is Crikey Steve Irwinsi. Because of course it is.
Of course it is.
But yeah, that is the Irwin snapping turtle. They discovered it while they were on a crocodile catching trip.
Got some cojones to go crocodile catching. That's all I'm saying.
I am not.
Catch me out, not out there.
Yeah, no. Question number 7. Nicholas Lowe's 1707 publication, a poem upon the late glorious successes, commemorates the Duke of Marlborough and victories at battles of Ramillies, Malplaquet, and Blenheim. Those engagements were part of what larger conflict? That is the War of Spanish Succession. It's always tough. Is it Austrian Succession or is it Spanish Succession? That's why you write those questions. You make sure you got them down.
And your last one of the round, likely Sephardic in origin. What dish of shredded meat cooked in a sofrito with tomatoes and frequently accompanied by rice, plantains, and black beans takes its 2-word name from the Spanish for old clothes? That is a ropa vieja.
Yeah, ropa vieja. I remember I was looking up Panama was what my random country generator gave me. I'm like, okay, Panamanian cuisine. Not a lot that I could find that was like uniquely identified.
It can be sung to Copacabana.
Ropa vieja. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
But not a lot that was like one-to-one identifiable with Panama that I could expect a lot of teams to get. Then I saw Ropa Vieja, and first of all, it looked tasty. Second of all, I knew I'd heard the name before, so I knew it was out there in the ether somewhere. And when I looked at it, I'm like, Vieja, well, Ropa, isn't Ropa like shirt? Does it just mean old shirt? And I looked it up, it's old clothes.
Yep.
So yeah, kind of does.
Let's
TJ.
meet the teams. We have Kanye West Nile Virus, Team Coast to Coast. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a bird in a gilded cage. Third podium, Dorks, and what's next? Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch? Those are all the teams we've got playing tonight.
Beautiful. Let's move on to round number 2, in which case I believe you're taking the evens, or the other way around.
Taking the odds, and you are taking
the
evens.
evens.
So I'll be leading off here with round number 2.
Hey, Stephen Glassman, thank you very much for your support.
Thank you very much, Stephen.
So Stephen and Marnie, thank you so much.
Question number 1. The delta of the Camargue marks the nexus point between the Grand and the Petit arms of what European river, whose course is illustrated on the following redacted map.
I was like, what happened? When did you stop? When did you stop?
So what European river course here has been redacted?
Yep. And if you didn't know it was European, it says Marseille right there.
And also Lyon.
Yeah, well, I see that too.
Olympic Lyonnais.
Olympic Lyonnais. Sporting Lyon, isn't that? Well, I mean, that's what it means. I thought there was actually another team that was called Sporting Lyon. I got that
There's
wrong.
Sporting Portugal.
There's Olympic Marseille, which again is like sporting, but in French. Sporting, but make it French. That's question number 1. Question number 2. River? What 5-word question titles a song from the second act of a 2001 Broadway comedy that includes lyrics such as, "A show so easy to despise, now it's up for the Pulitzer Prize," and "It's the end of our careers. It'll run for 20 years." Those lyrics appear in what 5-word titled song from the second act of a 2001 Broadway comedy? What is that 5-word title? It even asks a question.
Yep, that's a question.
Yeah, it asks a question. I just asked you a question about it asking a question.
Stop questioning.
That's question number 2.
Question number 3. President Hippolyto Yrigoyen?
I think it's Hipólito Yrigoyen.
Okay. Hipólito I missed it.
Yrigoyen.
Yrigoyen. Okay.
Yeah, it's toughies.
Yep. Yrigoyen was the target of a 1930 coup that kicked off the infamous decade in what country? A period that ended with the rise of a politician supported by the
Descamisados.
Descamisados? Yeah, okay. Can you tell I didn't try this one out before?
Yrigoyen.
Okay. Cool.
It's tough. But also, flex.
President Hipólito Yrigoyen was the target of the 1930 coup that kicked off an infamous decade in what country? A period that ended with the rise of a politician supported by the Descamisados. Apparently you misspelled that, by the way.
Oh, Descamisados.
Descamisados.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay.
And that's question number 3.
I'm aware I said like Higuain, like Gonzalo Higuain,
Yeah, I know.
famous Argentinian striker.
All right, question number 4, and this one comes to you from Sarah Ann Rapp. Hey, thank you very much, Sarah. Graham Russell Hitchcock is the before and after name, making a new one out of those of which soft rock groups key members. One of these two was born in England and one in Australia. So Graham Russell Hitchcock is the before and after name of what soft rock group's key members. One of them was born in England, one in Australia, and that before and after name makes a new one out of those. That's question number 4. Give us the name of that soft rock group.
Question number 5. What television character made her first appearance in the 1982 pilot episode Give Me a Ring Sometime? Playing a student whose fiancé, a local professor, abandons her at the central location to take a trip with his ex-wife to Barbados. So what television character made her first appearance in the 1982 pilot episode Give Me a Ring Sometime? Playing a student whose fiancé, a local professor, abandons her at the central location to take a trip with his ex-wife to Barbados. What is that television character? That's question 5.
Question number 6. One of the first literary figures commemorated in Westminster Abbey's Poets' Corner in the 21st century is what dramatist of Tamburlaine and Dr. Faustus, who died more than 400 years earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Took him a minute.
It did.
Probably with reason. We'll get to that. Question number 6. One of the first literary figures to be commemorated in Poets' Corner at Westminster Abbey in the 21st century is what dramatist of Tamburlaine and Dr. Faustus, who died more than 400 years prior to their commemoration. That's question number 6.
Things
Who
kept
could it be?
happening, mostly car-related.
Piece of crap.
Question 7. No, it's not funfetti. The brain seen on the following slide is divided into what series of 52 colored areas, collectively named for a German anatomist? So nope, it's not funfetti. These 52 regions are named for what German anatomist?
I'd like to say thank you to Claire Fisher for their donation.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Cheers very much.
Thank you, Claire. That is question 7, and that is a rave brain.
That is a
That
rave
is your brain on rave.
This is your Brainbow. There we go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
We
there.
found the one.
Yep.
Question number 8 with our randiest
Yes.
clue to date. Rhymed. Like it.
See how?
Rearrange the following letters to form a 9-letter word. You've got Hardy Buns. Your hint is, I'm going to need you to handle the cocks, attend to the ass, and squeeze those teats. I'm going to need you to handle the cocks, attend to the ass, and squeeze those teats. Hardy Buns are your letters, and that's your clue. Rearrange those letters. Give us a 9-letter word. That's question number 8. And your Randy anagram, which means we are moving on to the question recap, starting with number 1.
Question number 1. The delta of the Camargue marks the nexus point between the Grand and Petit arms of what major European river, whose course is illustrated on the following redacted map. Yep. So what European river's course is plotted on this redacted map? The free spaces, you got Lyon and Marseille. I wonder where we are. That is question 1.
Question number 2. What 5-word question titles a song from the second act of a 2001 Broadway comedy that includes lyrics such as, a play so easy to despise, now it's up for the Pulitzer Prize, and it'll be the end of our careers. It'll run for 20 years. What is that 5-word questioning title that we're looking for? That's question number 2.
Question number 3. President Hipólito Yrigoyen was the target of a 1930 coup that kicked off the infamous decade in what country? A period that ended with the rise of a politician supported by the Descamasados.
Thank you. Good at it.
That is question 3.
Bring it on.
Bring it in.
Question number 4, and this one comes to you from Sarah Ann Rapp, who asks, Graham Russell Hitchcock is the before and after name, making a new one out of those of which soft rock group's key members. One of these two was born in England, and 1 in Australia. What is the name of that soft rock group clued in that question? Thank you very much, Sarah. That is question number 4.
In question number 5, what television character made her first appearance in the 1982 pilot episode Give Me a Ring Sometime? Playing a student whose fiancé, a local professor, abandons her at the central location to take a trip with his ex-wife to Barbados. What is that television character in the 1982 pilot? That is
I
question 5.
almost put the Barbados flag up. That would have been a fun coincidence.
Barbados.
Question number 6. One of the first literary figures commemorated in Westminster Abbey's Poets' Corner in the 21st century is what dramatist of Tamburlaine and Dr. Faustus, who actually died more than 400 years earlier. What is the name of that dramatist commemorated in the 21st century? That's question number 6.
Question number 7. No, it's not funfetti. It's a brainbow. The brain seen on the following slide is divided into what series of 52 colored areas that are collectively named for a German anatomist? Gotta steal the brainbow. That is fantastic.
That is good stuff.
So the German anatomist names these 52 sections of the brain. That's question 7. Who's a German anatomist?
And question number 8, your Super Randy anagram time. Rearrange the following letters to form a 9-letter word. Your letters are Hardy Buns, HARDYBUNS. And your clue is, I'm going to need you to handle the cocks, attend to the ass, and squeeze those teats. I'm going to need you to handle the cocks, attend to the ass, and squeeze those teats. That's your clue for Hardy Buns. Rearrange those letters and give us a valid 9-letter word.
Puffy hair,
or tasty rice with plantains. I love that. Thank you very much, Stephen. That's great.
That's fantastic.
That is great.
Oh, this is a good day.
All right, get your answers in, and we will see you shortly. Back to the calming cinematics, I think.
Best of luck.
See you soon. Here we are. It's time to take a look at the answers from round number 2, starting with question number 1. TJ.
Question number 1, the delta of the Kamar marks the nexus point between the Grande and the Petite arms of what European river, whose course is illustrated on the following
Redacted
map. That European river is the Rhone.
I got sick of confusing the Rhine and the Rhone, and so wrote this question.
Yeah. Hope you like it.
Yeah, to remind myself
How.
Yep. Question number 2. What 5-word question titles a song from the second act of a 2001 Broadway comedy that includes lyrics such as, "A show so easy to despise, now it's up for the Pulitzer Prize," and "It'll be the end of our careers. It'll run for 20 years." Those seemingly paradoxical lines there come from the producers and the song, "Where Did We Go Right?" We got the worst source material, the worst director, the worst actors, and they loved it.
Question number 3. President Hipólito Yrigoyen was the target of a 1930 coup that kicked off the infamous decade in what country? A period that ended with the rise of a politician supported by the Descamisados. Now, I realized that after I said it, I said Gonzalo Higuain was an Argentinian striker, completely giving away the game. It was Argentina.
Yep.
As soon as,
Of course, the politician supported by the Descamisados is Juan Perón, who is seen there with Eva Perón in the motorcoach. Or motorcade, not motor coach. I mean, it's a motor coach in a motorcade.
There's a song in the Addams Family, the musical, called Where Did We Go Wrong?
Addams Family musical seems pretty good from what I've seen.
Addams Family Values is better.
Now,
check that shit out.
Question number 4. This one again comes to you from Sarah Ann Rapp, who asks, Graham Russell Hitchcock is the before and after name making a new one out of those of which soft rock group's key members. One of these two was born in England and one in Australia. That is the awesomely incomparable Air Supply.
They were a good show.
Yes, we just saw them over the last weekend. Graham Russell is 71, and Russell... That's exactly what I was about to say, Invader Steven. And Russell Hitchcock is 72, and Russell Hitchcock is still really hitting those notes.
Yeah.
Graham Russell's voice is a little, it's getting there. But, I mean,
if I sound like that in my 70s, I'm
going to be pleased as punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put on a really good show. They played for like an hour and 15, and it was really good.
Yep, absolutely.
Nothing
They were
but
great.
bangers.
They were great. Steven, you're on the trolley.
Question number 5. What television character made her first appearance in the 1982 pilot episode, Give Me a Ring Sometime? Playing a student whose fiancé, a local professor, abandons her at the central location to take a trip with his ex-wife to Barbados. That is Diane Chambers from Cheers.
Yep, before appearing on 122 other episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 6. One of the first literary figures commemorated in Westminster Abbey's Poets' Corner, in the 21st century, that is what dramatist of Tamburlaine and Dr. Faustus, who died more than 400 years earlier. Although his remains are elsewhere, many in the 21st century who have their remains elsewhere have been commemorated with floor stones. This person was commemorated with a stained glass window. It's Christopher Marlowe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, one of the first to be commemorated in the 21st century, in spite of dying over 400 years ago. And I believe he was murdered, and I believe it was a bar brawl. And
as you do in 1593.
Might have been a bit controversial because of the fact that, first of all, his remains are elsewhere, and as Will stipulated, they must stay there. And Westminster Abbey's like, we have to commemorate him somehow. And also because, all the anti-Semitism in the Jew of Malta, which I, of course, left out.
Yeah. Question number 7. No, it's not funfetti. The brain seen on the following slides divided into what series of 52 colored areas collectively named for a German anatomist? That German anatomist, these are Brodmann areas.
Yep. We had someone say Broca area, which makes sense. The Broca area is a thing, but it's the language production center of the brain. It's one specific part of the brain and not an idea for categorizing all of the other regions. Interesting, fun little free fact for you. So Broca is language production. Wernicke's area is language comprehension. And the way to remember that is Broca Spoca. That's how I always remember that.
Broca Spoca.
Broca Spoca.
All right, cool.
That's language production. And question number 8, your Randy anagram. Rearrange the following letters to form a 9-letter word. You've got Hardybun's. That's Hardy Buns. And by request, I'm going to Lumberg this one, where I say, I'm going to need you to handle the cocks and tend to the ass. And if you could squeeze the teats, that'd be great. And the answer there is... husbandry.
Yep.
You will definitely be dealing with the cocks, the ass, and the teats when you are working in animal husbandry.
Indeed.
Just be careful not to say squeeze the cocks. That's America's husbandry. All right. That is the end of round number 2. TJ.
Let's go to a score update.
Let's do it.
Yep. In 6th place with 9 points, we have Team Coast to Coast. 5th place, 10 points, Kanye West Nile Virus. Tied for 2nd, we got a 3-pack here. 3rd, Podium Dorks, and despite all my rage, I'm still just a bird in a gilded cage. And in 1st place with 15 points, we have What's Next? Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
All right. Also an anagram of Randy Bush. That would have been a good one.
Randy Bush.
That would have been a good one for sure. All right. We're going to move on to...
The Forgotten Bush Brother.
The Forgotten Bush Brother, yeah.
He had his own shitty beer.
There's George, there's Jeb, there's Prescott, and there's Randy.
Yeah. He had his own kind of beer, too.
Uh-huh. I'll bet. Okay, let me take down round number 2, bring up round number 3, and move on. This is your music round, everybody.
Time.
You're going to hear 6 different clips. 1 point will be given for each correctly guessed title, 1 point for each correctly guessed artist, and the theme is worth a whopping 2fer. So make sure you take a guess at that. The link to your music clips, I see TJ has already posted.
Yep, and I did just get the community standards thing, like, hey, what you doing over there, buddy? I think they're on to us. Trying to get around copyright.
Yeah. I am going to take the link, the Vocaroo link, and drop that into Twitch. Here you go. And over to YouTube. Here you go. And that is it. All right, you're going to be given 10 minutes to figure it out. We will be absent while you work on it. You'll also hear no filler music. You will only see us again at the 2-minute mark as we remind you how much time you have remaining. And at the 0-minute mark, when we tell you that time remaining is 0.
Mark.
I was already fast-forwarding to the end of that sentence. I was bored.
Yep.
Anyway, good luck. We'll see you soon.
See you in a bit.
All right, everybody, it's a little bit under 2 minutes until the round is over, so make sure you get those answers in just as soon as you can. I'm going to take a look and see if we have any submissions so far. Opening up round number 3.
We got 2.
We do. Thank you very much for checking on that. Got to it faster than I did. So thank you very much to those 2
Now
teams.
we have 3.
Oh, we have 3 teams. Fantastic. Looks like, do we have any more than that?
No.
Okay, great. Well done to half of our teams. We'll see you in just a little bit as the timer expires. So good luck. Get your answers in when you can. Bye for now. All right, that's the end of the time, so we're going to go ahead and turn the filler music back on, and once we get all those submissions in, we'll go over the answers and evaluate those forms for you, and then we'll show you
to the round 4, the last round of the night.
We will do that. Yep, this is the best time of the night to hippity hop up and grab yourself something to drink, powder your nose, do what you need to do. We will see you in just a couple minutes. Bye for now. right, go ahead, T. You were about to say something?
No, it was not.
All right, we are back and ready to show you the answers from round number 3, your music round. And that starts with this one. Song number 1 was When Love Takes Over by David Guetta, featuring Kelly Rowland. Song number 2, Mirrors by Justin Timberlake. I thought we were alternating.
I didn't know we were doing anything like that, but sure.
Song number 3.
Oh, we were going to talk about things with the
Oh, yeah, sure. For the guys, especially, I made sure to choose the ones where they're acting the goofiest. I mean, like, we got Chris Kirkpatrick's wearing the San Antonio Spurs. I don't know anything about where Kirkpatrick is from, but NSYNC was founded nowhere near Texas.
They were in Orlando, yep.
Yeah.
Joey Fatone in overalls.
With the Superman necklace on.
Yep. Excuse me, the Superman chain. Please.
Oh, jeez. Song number 3.
Song number 3 was Motivation by Normani, and there is the rest of Fifth Harmony on the right.
Oh, you're giving away the theme.
How
Song
could
number
I?
4 was What's Left of Me by Nick Lachey.
I can smell the Axe body spray in the picture on the right.
I saw that Nick Lachey had, quote, painted over his 98 Degrees tattoo, too. So I'm not sure if there's any animosity there.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
Well, him and Drew had a falling out.
Give me just one night. Song number 5.
Song number 5 was Mad About You by Belinda Carlisle.
I was waiting when we were previewing the song for Tell Me Why There's No Sun Up in the Sky. Like that. I was waiting for it to just be a cover of that theme. Mm-hmm. And song number 6, your last one, is This Town
by Niall Horan. So, One Direction comes up surprisingly often when we have discussions about music. And basically our view is that Niall jumped out to a huge lead in terms of all the One Directioners. Zayn got a head start, but Niall jumped out to a big lead. I think Harry's reeled him in with the last couple releases. Fine Line's a really good album.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what this next one's going to bring, because I know that As It Was broke the streaming record, but I personally don't think it's that great a song.
Yeah, it strikes me as a Sign of the Times Part 2.
Sign of the Times was good. I like that one.
Yeah.
I know you didn't, but it was at least interesting. As It Was is not. All right, moving on. It was boy band / girl group members. You got Kelly Rowland out of Destiny's Child, Justin Timberlake out of NSYNC, Normani from Fifth Harmony, Nick Lachey, 98 Degrees, Belinda Carlisle from the Go-Go's, and Niall Horan out of One Direction. We had one team guess that they were out of the X Factor, but that can only be said for Fifth Harmony and One Direction. I believe Destiny's Child was on an early version of Star Search, or I'm sorry, an early version of Destiny's Child was on Star Search, but I think that's about it. So we couldn't give credit for that. TJ,
let's go to the scores. We got a 3-way tie for 4th place now. 22 points for Team Coast to Coast, Kanye West Nile, Virus, and Dorks. Tied for 3rd, just in 3rd by themselves, Despite All My Rage, I'm Still Just a Bird in a Gilded Cage with 25 points. And tied with 27 in 1st place, we have What's Next, Is Wayne Brady Gonna Have to Choke a Bitch, and 3rd Podium.
All right, round number 4 is by far the hardest round, so have fun with that as we get started. TJ, evens or odds?
Evens.
All right, I'll start. Question number 1.
Oh, I picked well. Excellent.
1 was first published in 1994 after the manuscript was discovered in the mud of a fatal 1960 car accident near Seine, France. The other was an anonymously published 1826 work of science fiction written by a pioneer of the genre. What are the 2 opposite titles of these works? So, what are the 2 opposite titles of these works? 1 was first published in 1994 posthumously after it was found among the effects in a 1960 fatal car accident in France. The other was anonymously published in 1826, and it's a work of science fiction written by a pioneer of the genre. Nota bene, if the title, in this case, it's not the entire title that's an opposite, but each title is fairly similar except for one word, and that word is the opposite in the other case. Like, if the title in one case was Up the Blue, the other would be Down the Red, but they're not multiple words that are opposites. Yeah. It's just there's the one word, but they're definite, obvious opposites. That's it. That's question number 1. Identify both of those works.
Question number 2. What 1995 film is named after an independent Delaware store and has a cast that includes Anthony LaPaglia, Debbie Mazar, and the child of a rock and roll Hall of Famer? So what 1995 film is named after an independent Delaware store and has a cast that includes Anthony LaPaglia, Debbie Mazar, and the child of a rock and roll Hall of Famer? What is that film? That is question number 2.
Question number 3. The following partially redacted image shows the general laboratory setup for what type of distillation?
General laboratory.
General lab. A process name for the column that divides the subject mixture into constituent components. So, this partially redacted image shows a laboratory setup for what type of distillation? This process is named for the column that partially divides the constituent mixture into its components. All of the C words there at the end, I was trying to make sure I put them in the right order. I didn't say the other ones.
Be careful with your C words.
Exactly. That is question number 3. Identify that type of distillation.
Question number 4. The Tightrope is a podcast of political and social discussion, co-hosted by what Harvard and Princeton educated philosopher and scholar, known for his criticism of authority and white supremacy, as well as the 1994 book Race Matters. So once again, The Tightrope is a podcast of political and social discussion, co-hosted by what Harvard and Princeton educated philosopher and scholar, known for his criticism of authority and white supremacy, as well as the 1994 book Race Matters. So who wrote the 1994 book Race Matters as a co-host on the Tightrope podcast? That's question 4.
Question number 5. Men of the Docks is a 1912 painting by what artist of the Ashcan School, who depicted boxing matches in works such as Stag at Sharkey's. Stag at Sharkey's is one of the famous paintings of a boxing match depicted by what artist of the Ashcan School, who also created Men of the Docks in 1912. What's the name of that artist? That's question number 5.
And question number 6. In 2020, what Cuban-born first baseman became the first member of the Chicago White Sox to win the AL MVP award since Frank Thomas in 1994? Becoming the first White Sox to win the AL MVP since Frank Thomas in 1994, what Cuban-born first baseman took home the award in 2020? Who was that player? That's question 6.
Question number 7. The end of Japan's Heian period marked the beginning of what shogunate established by the victorious Minamoto clan after the Genpei War? This shogunate is one of 3 major shogunates of Japan, along with the Ashikaga and Tokugawa. Along with the Ashikaga and Tokugawa, which shogunate of Japan is one of the country's 3 major shogunates? It came to power at the end of the Heian period after the Minamoto clan was victorious in the Genpei War. Looking for the name of that shogunate? That's question number 7.
And your last question of the evening. Features such as the Cedar Breaks National Monument, a natural amphitheater that contains the headwaters of the Mammoth River, lie within the basin of what major Utah river? It takes its name from the Spanish word for violent. It shares its name with a Tennessee county. So features such as the Cedar Breaks National Monument, a national amphitheater that contains the headwaters of the Mammoth River, lie within the basin of what major Utah river that takes its name from the Spanish word for violent and shares its name with a Tennessee county? What is that Utah river? That's question 8, and it's time for the recap.
Yeah, it's already our first pass of the final round. All right. Again, question number 1. 1 was first published in 1994 after the manuscript was discovered in the mud of a fatal 1960 car accident near Saint-France. The other was an anonymously published 1826 work of science fiction written by a pioneer of the genre. What are the 2 opposite titles of these works? That's what we're looking for. What are the 2 opposite titles of the works clued in this question? That's question number 1.
And question number 2, what 1995 film is named after an independent Delaware store and has its cast that includes Anthony LaPaglia, Debbie Mazar, and the child of a rock and roll Hall of Famer? Was that 1995 film about a Delaware store? That's question 2.
Forgot to point out we got our flags tonight. We got New Zealand back behind us here, and over here, TJ, what we got?
North Macedonia.
Yeah, FYROM. That came up in
Learned this
Yeah,
last
North
season.
Macedonia. You're taking out Italy one goal at a time in stoppage time, huh, boys?
Question number 3. The following partially redacted image shows the general laboratory setup for what type of distillation? A process named for the column that divides the subject mixture into constituent components. What type of distillation is illustrated in this image? That is question number 3.
And question number 4, The Tightrope is a podcast of political and social discussion co-hosted by what Harvard and Princeton educated philosopher and scholar known for his criticism of authority and white supremacy, as well as the 1994 book Race Matters. So who penned the 1994 book Race Matters and is a co-host on The Tightrope? What Harvard and Princeton educated philosopher and educator is that? That's question 4.
And question number 6, Men of the Docks. It's a 1912 painting by what Ashcan school artist who depicted boxing matches, most famously, in works such as Stag at Sharkey's. What is the name of that artist known for painting boxing matches and a member of the Ashcan school? That's question number 5.
Question number 6. In 2020, what Cuban-born first baseman became the first member of the Chicago White Sox to win the AL MVP award since the Big Hurt Frank Thomas in 1994? So what White Sox won the 2020 MVP? What Cuban-born first baseman won the AL MVP? That's question 6.
Question number 7. The end of Japan's Heian period marked the beginning of what shogunate, which was established by the victorious Minamoto clan following the Genpei War. This shogunate is one of 3 major shogunates of Japan, along with the Ashikaga and Tokugawa. What is the name of that shogunate? That is question number 7.
And your final question of the evening. Features such as the Cedar Breaks National Monument, a natural amphitheater that contains the headwaters of the Mammoth River, lie within the basin of what major Utah river that takes its name from the Spanish word for violent and shares its name with a Tennessee county? What Utah river takes its name from the Spanish word for violent and shares its name with a Tennessee county? That is question 8. And with that, we're going to ask you for the final time this evening to get your answers in. We'll see you in just a little bit. Remember, if you want to support us, you can do so at Venmo at McKinney-Sizemore. You can also do so at PayPal at ksizemore@hotmail.com and on Cash App with $ McKinney Sizemore. All goes to the same place. Thank you for supporting us, and we're going to get this done.
We are. Best of luck, everybody. We will see you soon.
That came down to it. Fantastic.
It's quite nippy.
Literally the last question. All right. Let's take a look at the answers and give you a little piece of the drama. Question number 1. One was first published in 1994 after the manuscript was discovered in the mud of a fatal 1960 car accident near Seine, France. The other was an anonymously published 1826 work of science fiction written by a pioneer of the genre. What are the two opposite titles of these works? That is The First Man and The Last Man. The First Man by Albert Camus was a novel of growing up, and that was, again, the one that was found in his effects, actually in the mud by the car accident site when he died. And The Last Man was an 1826 work by Mary Shelley about one of the few survivors of a global pandemic.
Yeah. Fun. That'll never happen.
Yeah.
Question number 2. What 1995 film is named after an independent Delaware store and cast that includes Anthony LaPaglia, Debbie Mazar, and child of a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer? That is Empire Records. And I did not know anything about Rex Manning Day when I wrote this question.
Yeah, it's funny. He told me yesterday, yeah, I'm going to write a question on
Empire
like,
Records.
Oh, yeah, cool. Rex Manning Day was like just yesterday. What?
Yeah.
What?
Obviously, Liv Tyler is the daughter of Rock and Roll Hall of Famer.
I don't know
Steven
Renee
Tyler.
Zellweger's parentage. It's possible. It could be multiple answers.
Okay, then.
Question number 3. The following partially redacted image shows the general laboratory setup for what type of distillation? That's right, we're asking you for a specific type. A process named for the column that divides the subject mixture into constituent components. That is fractional distillation.
Fractional.
I forgot to take the redacted off.
You
That's
did
funny.
indeed.
And see, still covering it up. But yeah, I believe it's as the mixture is heated, the components rise through the fractionation column, and it's elements that are warmer go to the top, I believe.
Warmer?
No, stay at the bottom,
Warmer.
and cooler go to the top. But they're essentially separated via that process.
Because you gotta keep them separated.
Trying to act like I know what I'm talking about.
Take them out. Question number 4. The Tightrope is a podcast of political and social discussion co-hosted by what Harvard and Princeton educated philosopher and scholar, known for his criticism of authority and white supremacy, as well as the 1994 book Race Matters. That is Cornell West.
Yeah, Cornell West has collected a lot of degrees and has taught at almost as many institutions. Or I think he's actually taught about twice as many institutions as he's attended. Cornell West is well cited, has 20 plus publications that they've either co-authored, authored, or contributed on. Definitely a person to know. One of the few people today who I would actually consider like a modern philosopher. Question number 5. Men of the Docks is a 1912 painting by what artist of the Ashcan school who depicted boxing matches in works such as Stag at Sharkey's. A nice way to remember that is because his name is George Bellows. Sort of a nomen est omen, you know, give him the Bellows.
Bellows. Question number 6. In 2020, what Cuban-born first baseman became the first member of the Chicago White Sox to win AL MVP since the Big Hurt in 1994? That would be Jose Abreu. Jose Abreu tells a very interesting story about how when he was defecting from Cuba...
Oh, that's Abreu?
Yeah. Jose Abreu, when he was defecting from Cuba, he got onto a plane basically with a fake passport. And he knew that once he got to America with their much more stringent security methods, that he would basically be found out and have to be sent back. So he ordered a glass of water and proceeded to eat his passport so that he could basically claim asylum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, because you can come in without a passport and claim asylum, political asylum, but you cannot come with a fake passport, and it'll be like, hey, you made a fake passport, that's a federal crime, we have to deport you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's, wow.
Yep, that's Jose Abreu.
Speaking of the tightrope, that's a hard thing to have to walk.
Yep.
Question number 7. The end of Japan's Heian period marked the beginning of what shogunate established by the victorious Minamoto clan of the Genpei War? The shogunate is one of 3 major shogunates of Japan, along with the Ashikaga and Tokugawa. Heian period was mentioned in OQL USA question this past week, and I was basically like, oh, yeah, what's that about? Yeah.
And Japan came up with the random country generator, coincidentally enough. So, like, okay, let's do that. That is the Kamakura shogunate, which was also the shogunate in power during the eponymous Kamakura period. So, excellent. I think only one team got that right.
And only one team got this question right because it was the game winner. Question number 8. Features such as the Cedar Breaks National Monument, a natural amphitheater that contains the headwaters of the Mammoth River, lie within the basin of what major Utah river that takes its name from the Spanish word for violent and shares its name with a Tennessee county? That is the Sevier River.
Yes, I'm looking it up right now. I believe it's the first or second longest. It is the second longest after the Green River, which is almost twice as long.
Yep.
But yeah, Sevier River. We were noticing it too. There have been 3 unintentionally paired questions.
Yeah.
We had 2 questions that mentioned Delaware and Empire Records. We had 2 questions almost back to back. In fact, I think they might have actually been back to back about turtles. We had Maryland Terrapins and the Irwin Snapping Turtle.
Yep.
And then we've also had 2 questions, Ropa Vieja and Sevier River.
That come from the Spanish.
That the clue ends with comes from the Spanish for hint.
Yep.
So yeah, Sevier River was
Sorry
correct.
for the cock-ups.
Yep. Anyway, that's the results. TJ, what we got?
Okay.
Or rather, that's the end of the quiz. You've got the results.
Yep. Tied for 5th with 26 points apiece, we have Team Coast to Coast and Kanye West Nile Virus. In 4th place with 28 points, we have Dorks. In 3rd place with 30 points, we have Third Podium. In 2nd place with 32 points, we have Despite All My Rage, I'm Still Just a Bird in a Gilded Cage, and eking it out by 1 single point. It's What's Next is Wayne Brady Gonna Have to Choke a Bitch. Congratulations to Wayne Brady, as always.
I guess. All right. Well done, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We're going to try to see you back here again next Monday, the 18th at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern, so make sure you tune in for that. If you've had a good time, please hit us up at Venmo at McKinney-Sizemore, PayPal, ksizemore@hotmail.com, or Cash App at #McKinney Lee Sizemore. Claire, congratulations, and thanks for your earlier donation as well. Cheers. Have a wonderful night, everybody. We will see you next week.
Have a great night.